Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Andre. I'm here with my co host, Bradley Powers, and we have a special guest with us today, Terri Wilson. Hi, Terri.
Hey guys, how are you?
Well, I'm doing good. How about you, Bradley?
Yeah. Yeah, as Jim said, my name is Bradley Powers. I'm a mystic. Jim Hondre is a energy healer and alien abductee, and Terri Wilson is a paranormal investigator and a witch. Is that fair comment, Terri Wilson?
That would be fair.
She's not just any old witch. She is a special witch. She's following the Druid path, just like me. So we've got something in common there. And a little bit about Terri before we spend the show embraced around her. Terri Wilson is a paranormal investigator. She also trains children, youngsters, 12 years old, to become paranormal investigators themselves. I think that's quite commendable of you. Thank you for doing that, Terri. That's very kind of you. She's also been on the front page of American Paranormal magazine. Is that right, Terri?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the equipment that Terri would use would be an EVP, which is an extra dimensional voice phenomenon. She's affiliated with shadows, pianos playing on their own, conversations when there's nobody there, items have fallen off the wall and smashed, poltergeists have embraced her life, and also lights would come on by themselves. And also, it's fair to say that Terri Wilson uses with her when she embraces when she engages with metaphysics, she bases it on scientific facts first, and she prides herself on this. So, and also she has a story about Alabama in the 1890s, I think, the first sighting, woman screaming in the woods. Have I got that right?
Oh, the Alabama white thing. Yeah,
Yes.
that's something my team really hasn't looked too much into. But when you're a paranormal investigator and these things are talked about in your state, at some point you have to, go, is there anything to this? So I feel like I live now in a good location. If there's anything to it, I'm gonna see that sucker.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey Sherry, I hope you're feeling better today, honey.
So basically, let's start off with Terri Wilson. This is your life. Welcome to Out of the Box, Jim Andre show. And who are you? What caused you to become a paranormal investigator? How long have
Well,
you been doing it? These are the
I
questions that people are wondering.
somebody asked if I was Wicca. No, I'm not. I'm just consider myself pagan. Um, Wicca is that's an organized religion, and I'm not about organized religion. Be it witchcraft or Christianism, or I'm not about doing organized religion. So I like to do my own thing, my own practice. I do have some people that are on my team that we work with outside the team on witchy things, but for the most part, I'm a solitary practitioner. Um, the paranormal, I was having activity in my own home. And it was also at a time that I was awakening as a witch. And so in my studies, we kind of diagnosed a lot of my activity at the time was a poltergeist created by my own energy. The We did have some spirit activity going on there. My uncle had passed away about 6 months before this ethereal world kind of busted open for me. And I think he was kind of my guardian angel, on this side of the world. And when he left this earth, he opened up something else for me.
So, in other words, you opened up a path, the path that you're on now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was always a witch in my soul, just didn't know it because, Jim, being from the United States, and maybe not so much in the Northeast where you're from, but in the South, if you meet somebody within the first 5 minutes, hi, my name is Terry, and they're gonna, oh, I'm Jim. What church
Yeah.
do you go to? You
Oh
know?
yeah.
And so, that's in your head your whole entire life that you're supposed to fit into this.
Right.
And so I struggled with it because that wasn't who I was. I had a calling to do tarot cards when I was a kid. There was things about me that I was doing that have been very witchy my entire life. I just didn't know it was witchy until I was invited to a pagan wedding. And I was, didn't know anything about paganism. And I didn't want to go to the wedding being stupid. And, you open that rabbit hole just a little bit.
Right.
And you dive all the way in. And by the time I came out of it, I realized, holy shit, I'm a witch.
Yeah.
That's who I am. That's what's been missing in my life this whole time.
Well,
And
that's the path you were
happened.
meant. Yeah, that's the path you were meant to take.
Right. So that's it in a nutshell. I've been married to the same man for 38 years. We're pretty boring. We have two beautiful daughters.
I was gonna say sorry to hear that, but I'm only kidding.
I know he's the same way. He's the same way.
Facebook users asking, do you find that you naturally affect the paranormal or attract the paranormal? I'm sorry. Do you naturally attract the paranormal?
I don't think that I naturally attract it. No, I think that at certain times maybe you can. I think that if you want to, you can. I mean, if I feel like, yes, if I want to call on my ancestors and communicate.
Right. Yeah, I think basically you have to open yourself up to it in order to receive it.
Yeah. We kind of did a team interview last night, for some new team members. And one of the questions they asked, well, are you afraid of, backlash or, something coming on? And I said, I think a lot of it is attitude. If you go in with the attitude of being afraid of it, then you might have a problem.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with karma itself. It all depends on what your intent is and what you'll receive back. That's what I believe. Yeah.
I believe too. And someone once said to me, a witch is never afraid to be in the dark alone because they know that they're the scariest thing in the dark.
Right.
And that resonated with me. And when I go into investigation, that I carry that in my soul. I'm the baddest mother in this.
Have you had any scary experiences doing in any of these investigations?
I mean, hey, anything will scare when you're sitting in the dark and you hear those things. Even though we're sitting there expecting something to happen, waiting on it to happen, it'll definitely get you. I will say I did have an experience that ran me out one time. I did have to go collect myself, and I went right back, but I did need a minute to catch my breath.
Right.
Just one of my website builder, I'm sitting in their house right now because I have terrible signal at my house. Very much a skeptic. He did not believe his partner is a member of our team, and she asked him, will you build our website? And he agreed, and he reluctantly came out to a house that we study a lot. And he came out there, just being a skeptic to prove to us that we were crazy. Yeah. And he got grabbed that night. And he just knew that one of us were behind him and nobody was behind him. So me thinking I'm going to be Billy Badass, this house, we've got a history with it. We've been in it so much. I'm thinking, I'm going to go do a spirit box session by myself off in this room that nobody likes. Even the new people that we interviewed last night, nobody wants to go in this room. So I'm sitting in there by myself, which, we know as investigator, you don't do that. But I did. And so I'm asking the questions, who grabbed Matt? Your standard, who's here? Well, I had this growling thing come through, and I was like, okay, that doesn't bother me. You got to give me more than that. Well, this thing lowered, and deepened and drew out longer. And I went to say something, and before I could open my mouth, it was like all the air was sucked out of the room. It was a weird sensation that I have never experienced. Like I felt like I would suffocate, die if I didn't get out in that moment. So I did.
It was like it was sucking the energy out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got out, went out, walked outside, shook it off, and came right back in. Then this house is, we have a lot of women on the team, and we pride ourselves on, being strong women. You're not going to run us out of here. So this house has given us a lot of, the sluts and the fuck yous and the get outs and just leave now and all that kind of stuff. And so I will never let this house run me out permanently. I will never let them win. Did we lose Jim?
Okay. No, I'm back. I think it's some kind of glitch or something's messing with us, because this happened to me the other day when I was a guest on another show. We were also using the StreamYard platform, and my camera kept just going off by itself. I'd have to keep resetting it.
When we were doing the podcasting pretty often on StreamYard on our network, Skeleton Key and Spirit Paranormal Channel, it really became like if we did not have technical difficulties on the show, it wasn't our show. So it could be the luck that runs with me too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it seems like it's like some kind of outside energetic force that plays with you every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong, but
that's kind of how I always looked at it too. And I think if we went back and kind of paid attention to like what we were talking about at the time, it seems to bleep out, when we're talking about.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's happened to me frequently. We have a Facebook user here saying, hello, Jim Andre. Should have told me I would have joined the podcast. You have to give me your name in the chat here, because it just says Facebook user.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to Sherry Brett, Christopher Gibbons, Matthew Height, Garrel Rand Epps, Candy Fowler, David Daly. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you near us.
And
we have a special guest, Terri Wilson, on the show. She's a paranormal investigator and also a witch following a Druid path. Thank you for joining us, Terri.
Oh, thank you for having me. I want to send out a special love and hug and light and all to Sherry. We know that she needs that right now, and just know that everybody on my team, Sherry, is thinking about you and sending you love, and we're with you, honey.
And we have a Facebook user here saying, got to go into the dark to find the light.
Absolutely agreed. Hi there, Daisy Tempundy. Thank you for joining us. Sherry Brett went good. Women power. Oi, behave yourself, Sherry.
That's right. Oh, shit, I'm not worried about that whenever you get a chance. I mean, I told you yesterday, I'm at your disposal, honey.
Terry, do you remember the Spice Girls in England? They were women power. Girl power.
I do. Those are like my daughter's age. I'm a whole lot older than the Spice Girls. That was my daughter's time.
What one would you be? Would you be Sporty Spice?
No, I think I would be Scary Spice.
Scary Spice. Oh, yes. I forgot about Scary Spice.
I mean, that would definitely have to be scary.
So you're been a paranormal investigator for 4 years. Have you had a lot of events that have frightened you, or made you become more passionate to try harder to discover ghost hunting?
I'm a junkie. The more evidence I get, the more I want. So, yeah, I guess I'm fortunate in the fact that I've not had anything to scare me to the point that, oh, I want to quit, because I've run across some people that say, oh yeah, I used to do that, but something happened and I'm never doing that again. I don't think that that'll ever happen to me. You know, knock on wood. I know never say never, but I'm really passionate about what we do and I love doing it.
Yeah.
Facebook users asking Jim, what ghost hunting equipment do you use if you ghost hunt? I'm not into ghost hunting. I'm an alien abductee and energetic healer, alien contactee.
So, well, a person to ask would be Terri Wilson. Terri Wilson, what kind of equipment would you take if you wanted to be a ghost hunter?
I was trying to share the show to make sure my team was getting it too. We use the standard stuff. We use voice recorders. We use REM pods, K2 meters, the EMF meters, the laser grids. The house that we were at last night has burned up 2 of them. I'm looking at now maybe just building my own. But I think the best tool that you can have is yourself. Yourself.
Here's a pretty good question here. In your investigations, have you ever encountered aliens?
We kind of talked about that the other day, and I believe that I may encounter aliens every day. I mean, I think they're walking among us.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt they are, yeah. I'm convinced that we all have alien DNA.
Well, I mean, that would surprise me. We share DNA with grass and, I mean, everything, so why wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. We have all the elements that are in the earth itself.
Right.
And man's problem is that he thinks the earth belongs to him, when in reality, man belongs to the earth.
Right. Yeah. We are cockroaches on this planet.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, or locust, I guess, would be, we just come in and destroy and devour and move on.
Jim McFarland says, screw paranormal investigation. I quit because being attacked.
And, that's what I've heard, a lot of people have, and like I said, I've been fortunate enough, and I hope that does not happen.
Here's another question here for you. Do you believe aliens and spirits get to interact with each other?
I would hope so. I mean, I would hope when we leave this world, this body that we're in, and we move out into the universe, that, yes, that we are part of a higher collective being.
Yeah, everything's connected. It's like one big matrix.
Right.
And in answer to that question, according to Sherry, Sherry says, yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Paranormal investigator for 4 years. You train young people to become paranormal investigators themselves. That's really kind of you. I think that's well done. You should give yourself a pat on the back for that.
Well, what started that, Bradley, is I have grandchildren. My 14-year-old granddaughter now, she is gifted. She is very, very much an empath. And the more, little times that we've taken her investigating, she's probably got some gifts. She can tap into some stuff. And then a couple other people on the team have children who were also, your parents are involved, it makes you involved. And the kids are always, can we go? And we decided, what the hell? Let's teach these kids how to do it, how to respect the spirits, how it's not Zach Baggins and, the TV stuff. Let's teach them what it's really about. And they enjoy it. We enjoy teaching them. And I think right now there's about 6 of them on the team.
Yeah. And you made the front page of American Paranormal magazine. Well done, Sherry. Well done.
Well, thank you very much. We really don't know how that happened. We were told that we were nominated to be on the in the magazine, and once we submitted our bios, and told them about us, they asked us if we wanted to be on the cover. I'm a witch. You asked me to be on the cover of October. Absolutely. It was my honor to be on it.
And further than that, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Shall we, Terri Wilson? You have seen shadows. Shadows. What did they do? What does that mean? You've seen shadows. Were they malevolent? Benevolent?
You get that out of the corner of your eye, something moved over there, but when you look, it's gone. I've not ever seen an apparition. I'll never claim. I won't say that I've got the outstanding picture or video of an apparition. Got some questionable. I'm really critical of the video and picture evidence because I know I used to work at Kodak. Developing film was a passion of mine. So I know what you could do back in the day with film. So now with digital everything, I question everything. But I will say that I've heard with my own ears the disembodied voices that we know that there was nobody in that room. And then, like I said, shadows move across the wall, and there's nothing there. No one. There was one night up before going to an investigation. My dog was laying on the end of the bed, just growling a real low rumble growl, and I kept kicking him, "Shut up, Otto! Shut up!" Because he's gonna wake my husband up. And he kept on and on and on, and he had never acted this way before. So, I kind of sat up in the bed thinking, what's going on? And I could see a shadow like of a person moving down the hallway. And I really felt like it had something to do with the investigation I was going on the next night. So, I kind of did my thing, get the fuck out of my house. You're not welcome here. And I went back to sleep. Then not the next night because I was out of town and investigating. A few nights later, trying to debunk that shadow, I stayed up because I'm telling myself, well, a car must have been going down the road. The hallway's long hallway, and I had sliding glass windows all the way at the other end of the house. But I'm telling myself, something must be reflecting, I was seeing things. I never could debunk that. So whatever that shadow was, I believe he did come from. It was actually Jim in Florida that we'd gone on that investigation. That place ended up being a meth house that was a breeding ground for activity.
Oh yeah. I've seen. There's been a lot of shadows around me. As a matter of fact, I've been on video like I am now, and whoever I'm on with, they say they see a shadow coming across, but it looks more like a monk, like something that's dressed like a monk and hunched over and just floats. Yeah.
And, that could be your spirit guide, just kind of hanging around, checking on you.
Could be.
I had one time I found a shadow standing behind my door, Terry, and the shadow was debating whether to jump into me or not, but he couldn't make up his mind because he thought I might be a trap. He thought that if he jumps into me, he might not be able to get out. I can understand him thinking that.
Right. Well, I'm glad he made the decision not to.
Yeah, so am I.
I got someone asking me, wait a minute, wrong one. Yeah, we'll see here. I've seen grays working in tandem with demons, but I believe there's good and bad in all species.
Well, I do too.
Yeah, thank you for
and
saying
someone's
that.
someone's asking what got you interested in aliens. Well, I've always felt a connection with the Bonnie and Betty Hill abduction. Coincidentally, if you want to believe in coincidences, They were abducted on September 19th, 1961, which was coincidentally my 8th birthday. And I've always felt some type of connection with that abduction. I was young at the time. It's like I got a vague memory of it, but I do believe and have the feeling that I was on the same craft as they were. And forward fast to the fall of 2012, I actually got abducted by the short grays of Zeta Reticula. And I was left with a tattoo.
Oh. Okay. And so from shadows, we're going to go to the piano. It was playing on its own, Sherry. Do you remember, Terry? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's actually at the house that we were at last night. This one, I have access to this house until they have it totally renovated. So we use it as a training tool a lot. Or, you know, if there's nothing going on and we just need that paranormal fix, we go over there. Last night I was interviewing potential new team members. We actually got a couple new ones. Kimberly's in the audience right now. The piano played over there. You know, we had, I don't know what, 6 or 7 of us on the team, and we're all like, who's in there playing the piano? But we were all in the room together.
Yeah.
That's also the same house that ran me out. The same house where we've heard, you know, disembodied voices with our own ears and not on EVP.
What was the piano playing? Any particular tune that you can remember?
No, it was just, you know, playing, you know, just hitting notes. You know, it wasn't playing any particular song. It was just, you know, I think it did like 3 or 4 notes.
Almost like a kid was playing.
Yeah, like a kid was playing it, you know.
Yeah. Spirit Stalker 52 is asking or saying, I was yanked out of bed, and as I slept by the foot, I landed on my 2 feet. Why do you think a spirit would bother wasting their time on me? What were they trying to say?
You know, that there's, I mean, there could be many, many things. You know, that could have been sleep paralysis. But, you know, for me and my belief, if something yanked you out of bed like that, you know, that's a pretty strong entity there. And I might be a little bit concerned, you know. If it happened more than once, I'd definitely get an investigator in.
Spirit Stalker 52, that scared you. Sometimes spirits try to scare you, or demons try to scare you by pulling you out of your bed to try and alarm you and cause you to change your path, because you could be heading in the right direction towards the light, and that offends them, and they're trying to get you to change your path. So that would be why spiritual entities or demons might be actually trying to frighten you. So please try not to be scared if you can. And welcome, Kimberly Diane Duffield, Spirit Stalker 52. Thank you for joining us, Nightbot, as well. Christopher Gibbons is in the house. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Gail, Rand Epps, Katrina Thomas. It's a pleasure to have you all join. Terri Wilson is in the house, everybody. And Terri Wilson is going to tell us about conversations. No one's there, and you're hearing conversations. What, in your head or outside your head, Terri?
No, this was actually... I just, you know, kind of heard you hear off in the other room. It was another team member that, like, hushed us all because she could hear a conversation going on in the other room, and there was no people in the other room.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to do a quick commercial, and we'll be right back.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Okay. person I have been listed as part of the
Okay, and we're back.
Hey,
really
and
cool commercial, guys.
the point of that commercial, Terry, is we are affiliated with Parafam Entertainments, the Parafam Foundation, and we
I
are
love
affiliated to them.
Robert Humphreys. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I love that man dearly. He is my paranormal brother, my paranormal soulmate. I love me some Robert Humphreys.
And we can help people to promote their podcast and turn it into a professional show for American network television, Roku, if Parafam should sanction it. And that's what we can do for people by helping people get their word out there about paranormal phenomena, just like yourself, Terry.
Right, right. I've been, working with Parafam and Robert off and on, doing some things. He's been on our show, and one day we may get back after it. I just live so far in the woods, I don't have internet. Until they get us internet out there, I just can't rely on my cell signal anymore.
And
Dustin Steinkamp saying, be careful to not tread deep into the energies we aren't familiar with.
Terry is probably a professional in that field and uses protection, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
What sort of protection do you use, Terry?
It really depends on what I'm feeling. I mean, I always have my triquetra with me. I mean, that's my most powerful protection right there. I got my amethyst, my triquetra that I wear. Some places before you go, you just know it's going to be bad, and so I'll double up. I'll give me some tourmaline, some hematite, and start, I guess, talking to myself and putting it out there that I've got this. That nothing's going to get to me, and so if it's going to be what I think could be a bad situation, I'm going to start cleansing and grounding myself. If I got 2 weeks notice, I'm working for 2 weeks, cleansing and grounding and meditating and making sure that I'm protected, my team is protected, because of course we don't want to put anybody in danger.
Yeah. And also, Sherry Brett is saying, basically what I was saying is when that guy got dragged out of bed by his feet, it don't mean it is a demon. It could be an angry human, an angry spiritual energy that can be strong, but it ain't of good behavior, and it will seek you will have to seek help. Don't show any fear towards the spiritual entity or demon, whichever it may be.
Right.
Demon
is thrown out there so much, I don't think there's as many demons as people think there are. I think if you're an asshole in life, you're probably going to be an asshole when you die. I don't think Charles Manson died and became this beautiful love and light energy. He's still an asshole on the other side, I'm sure. So when we deal with an energy like that doing a haunting, I think a lot of people are quick to label something like that as a demon when it's really just someone that was an asshole.
I was going to ask you, have you know of any documented cases where somebody has actually been harmed during any investigations?
I mean, not on my team. I've heard about it and stuff, but my team, knock on wood, we come out good all the time. Now drained, tired, now I've got the losses sitting over here just shaking her head that yes. We have one house that will make some female members start their period when we go in. That's the one where the piano plays, all that stuff. We call it Graceland of Alabama. And it can make you sick, but to be, physically hurt, thrown against walls. No, nothing like that.
No. And how long have
No,
you been
I've had-
investigating?
I would say probably the one that was the most intimidating knew that we were coming to do a cleansing, and when the family woke up the morning that we were coming that night, they woke and they had so much that was going on in this house. They actually locked all the kitchen knives, the weapons, anything that could be used to harm them. They locked in like a bunker in the basement because they had four
Right.
little girls that were being harmed. They were being bit. They were being scratched.
Wow.
So when we were going to cleanse, the family had no idea how many of us were coming. They knew I was coming. They didn't know who else was coming. They woke up that morning and they had 4 knives that they had locked up, but they were laying on their couch when they woke up that morning. 4
Wow.
of us went to cleanse that house that night.
Huh. Wow.
I mean, we had already had it set up the day before, the 4 of us that were going, what time we were meeting. So yes, when this woman called me that morning and said there was 4 knives on my couch this morning, I assured her that was okay, that they were probably left for us. And that was my first cleansing that I've done, and worked out well. To my knowledge, they've never contacted us back. And I think that's kind of my calling in this, is to help these angry spirits move on.
Okay. And items were falling off the wall and smashed. You encountered poltergeist.
That's also Graceland of Alabama. That's why we started investigating it, because of those. There was, footsteps being heard, walking across the floor, cabinet doors opening, a shelf that was, bolted into the wall was that, and you could tell it, didn't just fall off. It was ripped from the wall and forced down on one side.
Yeah.
So how long have you been investigating, Terry?
About 4.5 years, about 4 years with my own team.
What would you say the most interesting experience was that you had?
Captain Slappy?
Yes.
Captain Slappy.
Oh,
We've nicknamed this spirit Captain Slappy. Come over Grits Mill in Childersburg, Alabama. It's a historical location. Lots and lots of history there. Lots of Civil War stuff. We were really just out there one night, not really investigate, just the team getting together and hanging out. And, I think we probably had some new equipment we were trying or whatever. And we were just out there hanging out, and we started getting this. We had the SB7 box, and one of the other team members, who was very funny, he's so Southern and so country, in his accent, just, the way he questioned, Captain Slappy, but we started getting these responses. When we would ask something he didn't like, he would come back with slap. I mean, this went on for 2 hours? He and the loss is sitting over here to my left, and because so many slaps had happened, and she was jokingly said, Captain Slappy, did you die by someone slapping you to death? And he, clear as a bell, says, no, Thalassa. And it was like, we were all like, okay. This guy, he knew, it was weird. It was fun. That was one of the best times we had. That, whatever, if that was one entity, he was having a good time too, because he hung with us just for 2 hours.
Well, it'd be fair to say that maybe he was simply slap happy.
Slap happy, exactly.
Facebook users asking, do you get entities following you home after you
Well,
go on investigations?
my husband tells me every time I leave the house, please don't bring anything home. I think that maybe I have. I think that, I actually invited one that I believe was a child. The Graceland, this child was kind of stuck over there, we think. And of course, my first intention is always to move them on. But if they don't,
Right.
for whatever reason, want to go on, I also want to offer them a safe place to go. So I did invite this, what I think is a little girl child. And since my husband, who's very skeptic, does not believe, will now admit to me that he sees shadows moving in our house when nobody's awake.
I'd like to add, Christopher Gibbons says, I've been to Graceland and Elvis Ghost lives upstairs. Thank you for sharing that with us, Christopher.
I was actually just talking about going to the actual Graceland today, with Lisa Marie dying, everybody's, thinking about Elvis. And we were actually talking about we should do that, like, and just put our EVP recorders in our pocket and go in.
Thank you, Billy Bennett, for joining us. Yeah, and like you've experienced a lot of phenomena. Lights would come on and off by themselves. Is that right, Terri?
Yeah, that was actually in my own house. That was, what got me into paranormal investigating to begin with. We had a lamp that it would give you intelligent response. I mean, you could ask questions and it would come on. They burn it out now. They've used it so much, the lamp just doesn't work at all anymore.
Yeah. And
he froze up on us. Someone said Elvis
weird signals, energetic frequency interruptions.
It happens
Either he
a lot.
froze up or he's posing. Either he froze up or he's posing for animal crackers.
Right? So, Jim, that's very interesting. I could interview you now. I know this is your show, but I want to know more about your alien abduction.
Well, what happened that particular night in the late fall of 2012, I distinctly remember it was a Wednesday night. And I'm a retired Massachusetts constable and motor coach bus driver. And I used to have to get up early to drive the bus. I'd have to get up 3 o'clock in the morning because I did a commuter run between New Bedford and Boston, Mass. And so this Wednesday night, I sit in front of the computer and I note the time in the lower right-hand corner of the computer monitor with the thought that I had to get up early for work the next morning. So I was curious as to what time it was. All of a sudden, I went out. And when I came to, I was like in a daze. I'm looking around the room. And I glance over at the alarm clock, and it said 2:57 a.m. So I'm gathering my thoughts. And as I'm gathering my thoughts, I feel an intense burning sensation on my right forearm. And I know it's bizarre. It was hard for me to believe. I look down and there's the alien tattoo. And this tattoo, conventional tattoo, will take 7 to 10 days to heal. It'll scab up like a scrape or an abrasion. Right. This particular tattoo boiled up like a blister. And when it healed, instead of scabbing up, it peeled. And it healed within 3 days. So I'm assuming, they use some type of different method of putting it on there, whether it be laser type method or whatever it was.
Right.
And I held this in for over a year because I mean that was really like playing with my psyche.
Right. I mean, that's
I
a
first
traumatic
experienced
event.
it, Yeah, so I had to like just rationalize it through time to come to terms where I could feel comfortable within myself before I came out publicly with it.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, yeah, that's something traumatic. I got knocked out one day. We don't know if my horse did it or we don't know what happened. I got knocked out. And, I've lost all whatever happened, I don't know. And that just few minutes, bothered the hell out of me. I couldn't, so I can only imagine, what something like that would do to your psyche.
yeah. Dean is asking, what's the tattoo image? It depicts an alien gray.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and since then, I'm actually a contactee. I get telepathic downloads from the short grays, the Zeta Reticuli, and I've got the ability to energetically heal others.
Oh, well, hey, that's a great thing for them to leave you with.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I don't really broadcast it or charge for doing it. I've been successful many times with different individuals doing sessions over the internet.
Right.
One of the questions I get asked frequently is, how is that possible at a distance? Like if I'm down here in Florida and somebody's like, say, in Indiana. And the answer to that, with such a distance, and the answer to that question is, there really is no distance, because the energy that moves me is the same energy that moves everybody else. The energy that's around me now is the same energy that's around them. So it's like everything's connected. So there really is no distance. So what I do is I use a shungite stone. I don't know if you've ever heard of shungite.
I have.
Yeah, this is shungite. You can put this in water; it'll actually purify water. And this is the only stone on Earth that emits an energetic frequency of its own, because it has an element in there called fullerene. And the only place that you can get this stone on Earth is in Russia. Now they got other types of shungite in the Midwest, like the Colorado and all that, but it doesn't contain the element fullerene, where it gives off that energetic frequency.
Right.
And let me see if
you got somebody down here in the comments, Jim, is that they had a healing session with you yesterday, and that they're not wearing their brace or their sling today. So I just want to throw that out there. Hey, if anybody needs
that's Daisy, by the way. I know who she is because I did the session with her yesterday. She said I had a healing by Jim yesterday. I was in excruciating pain with calcific tendonitis. I'm not even wearing my brace and sling today.
Yeah,
I'm glad that worked
amazing.
out. I'm glad that worked out for you, Daisy.
Yes, that's awesome. And Spirit Stalkers 52 said that they need some positive vibes out their way. So maybe you can send them a little something, Jim. And I guess we lost Bradley Hines.
Okay, let me see if I can get this on camera here. I've got a Holmes meter here. We'll set it on the frequency setting. And I'm going to touch the electrodes on the shungite, and you're going to hear the frequency. Oh, it's going to call me a liar. Wait a minute. I don't know, the batteries probably. Others have seen me do this. They know it works, but it's not working right now.
Well, I
Oh,
done told you, if a show involves me,
I
there's
know
gonna
what
be
it is. One of them,
technical difficulties.
no, one of them disconnected. One of them disconnected.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's got to be connected to work.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Oh, yeah. We might be getting Bradley back. I use a lot of music and meditation too, Sherry. We're in fact in a witchcraft class, and we have a big ritual coming up, and we've been debating what songs represent Mars energy. So I want to ask you guys that. What if you had to pick a song to represent Mars energy, what would it be?
Sorry, what was that, Terry?
If you had to pick a song to represent the energy of Mars, what would that song be?
Oh, the energy of Mars. Wow. Isn't Mars where we may have originally come from? The atom, Adam and atom are the same, and the atom came from Mars that stemmed the human race. Mars was a dying planet. A song, though, a song. What would your song be,
Master
Terry?
of Puppets, Metallica,
Oh, that's a good one.
and Ring of Fire. Somebody said,
The Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good.
Master of Puppets, Metallica.
David Bowie,
Wow.
Life on Mars.
I would be
Yeah,
saying,
that's right.
John Lennon, give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
Well, do you want to know what my pick was when they asked me?
Christopher Gibbons says David Bowie's song Life on Mars.
My song was Black Skinhead, Kanye West.
Huh?
I mean,
Oh,
Mars is in your face, kick your ass, come at you full force.
Do you play
Well,
any
actually-
instruments, Terry?
I don't, but I wish I did. I love music. I tried the flute, when I was a kid in band, and I just had too many other. I have too many squirrels in my head to stay focused on something like that.
Yeah, that's what I do. I use different healing energetic frequencies soundtrack when I do the sessions, and that soundtrack was actually arranged and designed by the Zeta Reticula themselves.
Oh, very cool. And that's interesting that you said that, Jim, because like if I'm working a spell for someone, I tend to use a lot. I feel like I can, if I have music in the background, it helps me send the energy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We're coming. We've got 5 minutes left of the show. We're coming to the end of its hour. I'd like to thank you, Terri Wilson, for appearing on the show. Thank you for sharing all your paranormal phenomena, your ghost hunting attributes, and the fact that you train young people to become paranormal investigators. You was on the front page of American Paranormal magazine. Wow, you are special.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I do want to throw out before the show ends. I think some of my team is watching, and they all don't know about this. This is the first time it's being announced, so I'm sharing it with you guys first. Our team is working with the Oksana Victorian Home in Oxford, Alabama, next month for a special spend the night real paranormal investigation. Real paranormal investigators, obviously us. They are going to open up for 3 rooms to be rented out for people to come bring their sweetheart in, and I guess Jeepers Creepers has been in this place. Southern Ghost Girls has been in the place. They've been on Paraflix with the place. I guess it's been written about, talked about, and we get the opportunity to help them raise funds to restore the place.
Okay,
That's
thank you
great.
for sharing that, Terri Wilson. Terri Wilson is in the house. Donnie Randall, thank you for joining us. Phoenix Tina, thank you for joining us. And Vic Makaroff is in the house as well. And they are all saying it's a great show. Thank you. Phoenix Tina says, thank you so much for a wonderful show. Sherry Brett said she loved the show. Donnie Randall said it's a good show. And fabulous. So did Vic Makaroff. They enjoyed the show. I shared it to nearly 30 groups. Okay, and to the 2 links that you sent to me. I couldn't
Thank
post
you.
on the timeline, but I sent in the comments. Okay,
Thank
in
you,
the
thank
message
you.
in your inbox for the shows. Just copy
It
the
was a
link,
pleasure.
post it onto your timeline on the pages, Terry.
Okay, thank y'all.
It was a pleasure having you, Terry. Thanks,
It
everybody.
was
for
a
joining
pleasure meeting you. I love spending the hour with you guys.
Oh, you can come on again. You're welcome anytime.
Well, anytime y'all want me, just let us
Okay.
know. We'll be happy to.
Thank you,
We'll
Terry.
grab some more
Thanks for
team
joining
members.
us, everybody. See you on the next one.